I'm kind of questioning whether I should even talk about this on my YouTube channel, but I mean, like, it's not a big deal. Like, and plus, my YouTube channel is chronicling my life, so I feel like in actuality it should be on here, even though, like, let's just say it's probably not the smartest thing to do. But because it's mostly because this is a weekend, I can't do anything on a weekend, like, in as far as this situation is concerned. Um, so I'm kind of just like I'm kind of on pause right now. Um, but yeah, my aunt uh told me that my dad finished the paperwork for transferring the ownership of the Hawaii house to me. And I mean, like, before, when okay, there's always been a pattern with my dad and that side of the family, right? Like, there'd be like long absences of contact, and then like all of a sudden, not even like a softening in. It's usually like some sort of major thing, like, oh, somebody died, or oh, somebody, or oh, like, oh, the, like, now you own a house. Like, it's always been just like out of the box, really, like, kind of grandiose things, always. And it's always jarred my system all the time because I'm quite sensitive. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. But, like, and so it would always, like, rattle my nervous system, and then I wouldn't know how to go about doing it because, my life would be on a certain trajectory, and then, like, it's like this sudden, like, dump of information that I have no idea what to do with. But anyway, I have it on my schedule to call some people tomorrow, actually. Like, I can't call certain people tomorrow. Like basically, I'm gonna call, like, the few people that I can tomorrow, but, like, most of the major stuff is gonna have to wait until Monday. Um, but yeah, I'm. The thing is, I've never talked to the person who's currently living in that house. Like, my aunt was, like, really pit. Like, she was like, oh, she's like a, what is it? What do you call somebody who's like a crotch, like a somebody who just, like, stays in a spot, like, I don't remember what it's called, but like okay, like, homeless people kind of just stay in, like, a little house, and, like, what, I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, like, she was kind of annoyed that she was staying there and whatnot, and I'm like, cause my mentality is there's probably some sort of agreement between my dad and whoever's staying there, that I'm not aware of, and my aunt is automatically assuming, like, they need to just get the fuck out because it's technically my house or whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm really my pen right about stuff. Like, I'm like, okay, well, like, whatever, like, mikasa is sukasa, I guess. I don't, like, as long as you're not, like, wrecking the place, I mean, um, but, like, yeah, it's mostly under the impression of that I don't know what the agreement is with my dad and the person staying there. So, without hearing from him, I have to reserve judgment of any kind. Um uh I mean, yes, of course, like, ultimately, like, though it's a really nice house, it's not in a location I would want to live. Like, I don't think I would ever utilize this house, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I would ever live in this house. So, um, I'm just like, so my objective would be more or less to put it on market eventually and sell it and stuff like that. But, there's a lot of things that I don't really know. Apparently my cousin is paying the taxes and stuff like that. Like, like, I was asking the few questions that, I'm semi aware of that should be asked. And, like, overall, like, it's like, oh, like, I'm not no Sansa Stark returning to the North, fucking being the queen of whatever. Like, I, like, no. Um, But I guess it's just like, I don't know. It's jarring still, but because I have my to-do list system, it's actually not affecting my nerves as much, which is like amazing because like you don't understand like, well, I mean, like, I think people are aware of like autistic breakdowns and stuff like, or just people like crashing out in general, like, so this like system is kind of, not that I don't feel anything with it, obviously I do, but like I have a quicker recovery rate and ability to handle shit, but but still, like always, like even in the past, this is kind of jarring to me, and I'm like, well, I don't really know what to do with this information, but I think like right now, because I am ahead of schedule, I'm feeling a little bit more playful with it. Like I'm just like, like it's not like I'm like, oh really, like I yeah, because like, okay, apparently this lady who's staying there had like a stroke or something. Was she staying there? And she wanted to maybe move to Montana or something. And I'm like, okay. Well, God, if you had a stroke, you probably can't. Like, that's probably just something that they want to do. Like, they might just need to stay there. I don't know. Like, it's really none of my business. I mean, I would like to talk to my dad about it overall and just kind of ask him what's the deal there, because like I don't care. Like, if they need to stay there, then fair enough. But like, but I need to hear from him, and he never talks to me. So I'm just like, okay. So I have to like read his mind. I think that's why I was like attracted to Japanese language, is because like my whole family just expects people to just like understand them without actually talking. So it's like, who are the best people on the planet that have that ability? The Japanese. The Japanese like have this whole concept of Ishin Deishin, so it's like, yeah, uh, gotta like master that skill or something, yeah. Um, and then I'm like thinking about, and then I was thinking about like different stuff, like randomly thinking of like the TV show Britannia and the OA. Okay, so in both of those, it features like a male figure, like a male older person, and a younger girl, right? And then I'm associating this with my trauma, right? Because my dad threw me in the ocean. Like, I don't think he was like. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to get at. If you watch both of those TV shows, Britannia has this character called Divis. He's just this crazy ass acolyte of like these shaman people who just like go around acting crazy, and he hears like the gods speak, and then he finds this girl who, like, I guess there was like a vision, and she's gonna like take down the Roman Empire somehow. Like, I don't know, she's like a key component in like taking down the Roman Empire or something like that. And he puts her through all these crazy ass tests, like she jumps off a cliff, shit, like he's just fucking crazy. So it does all that kind of stuff, but it's like to like spiritually prepare her or something like that. Now that's like kind of like a wild and like uh how should I say, like very dramatic sort of way of going about it. And then like, okay, and then the OA is about a Russian girl whose father is an oligarch, and she comes to her dad, and she keeps on getting visions of her drowning or something like that. And so her dad takes her out to the lake. Like, it's Russia, so it's like cold as shit and everything's snowing and whatnot. So he like kind of chips out the ice of a lake, like enough for like basically like a fishing hole or something like that. And then he tells her to jump inside. And she's like, no, I don't want to do it. He's like, no, like it's like quiet but firm. Like, you need to do this. And so she does it, and then like, there's the whole like shock to the system or whatever and whatever. And like, I don't remember exactly what the lines were in that moment, but basically it's kind of like the same concept of like both these older men preparing this younger girl for things in the future, but it's like it's on it's two different ways of doing it. Because well, you have to watch the show. You have to watch both of the shows to know what happens later on. Um, but like those were necessary lessons, basically. Um, like for both of them, they just went about it two different ways. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm just thinking in this point in time. So, okay, so we talked about the TV shows. Now I'm coming back to this time. I don't want to approach anything overly suspicious. I think that is something that was taught to us. Yeah, fear is kind of taught to us. So and suspicion is kind of like an outlier to fear. People confuse it for cleverness, but it's not. And I mean, like, I do get like paranoid of certain things, like, because certain things do happen. Like, I do not lie. Like, I'm just gonna put it like, I do not lie about stuff. The things that I've said are true. But do I know the reason? Do I know who? Like, there's a lot of things that I don't know, so I can't jump to any sort of conclusions on those things. I mean, like, worrying about them is kind of pointless because it's out of my control, right? So, so that's where I'm at right now. But, yeah. But I do, like, I'm just gonna be honest, I don't enjoy waiting. I don't enjoy, uh, like, I suffer from impatience as much as the next person, even though I feel like life has been trying to teach me patience for most of it. And proper timing of things. So that's why I have like this weird obsession with the clock right now. So, um, it's just kind of my own way of trying to cope with those emotions, and also to honor the time. Like, it's like a weird concept of fairness that's like way too mechanical. But I mean, there's always going to be room for human error because, everything is always going to be different. Like, because everything is subjective. I don't need to get all philosophical. Like, people already know about, like, the higher concepts and stuff like that, so I don't need to reiterate anything, really. But more for my human, if I'm gonna, like, talk about my emotions right now, is pensive. Very pensive. And that's the most emotion that I'm feeling right now, is just pensive. I don't think, because I'm listening to, like, you could hear very calming music, I always try to stay pretty zen and stuff. Doesn't mean that I can't slap a bitch, but like, but I don't want to. Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, my father's family is so interesting. But I think it's mostly, like, I've always been out of the loop with them, so, like, I don't know what their meta is, really. Like, I don't know the meta of my own family. And so it makes it hard to interact, and that's always been the issue, but, like, but they are who they are. I don't mind. I don't care. Like, it's fine. It's all good. I feel like I'm wasting time right now because I feel like I could have ended the video like 5 minutes ago and that would have been fine. But I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I want to talk about since I'm making a video, because it's only like 14 minutes right now, so it's kind of short. But yeah, like I like, after a while you just kind of run out of things to talk about, and run out, like, and it's also like I'm also, what is it? People don't value words as much. Like, it's so funny because, like, in religious texts and everything, it's like, words are important. But in, like, 3D existence, words are not important, which is crazy. But, like, that's true. Like, words are more of a 5D concept. Words are more of, like, a higher thing. Everything else is more on the 3, like, that's more of a 3D concept of ignoring that kind of stuff. But it's like, but then there's also energy, which kind of like just kind of trickles throughout everything, and that's interesting. Like I don't know, like I don't want to go into Alan Watts or anything like that. Like there's nobody to stop me. I have a camera in front of me. There's no one to tell me stop, Kayla. You're talking too much or something like that. So but yeah, when I was younger, like let me just talk about this because I had this one Sagittarius friend. His name was Bradley. He's from, well, around the Yorkshire area, so he's like a northern dude. He had Tourette's, but he was very like live, like Sagittariuses are very like outgoing and like they're fun, and so like he was fun, and he would always talk. Like, we would talk about philosophy a lot and, like, spirituality a lot, and, like, we just would have these crazy conversations, but because also, like, he was also neurodivergent, his processing speed was, like, super quick. Like, he would be able to talk about 3 topics all at once, which was crazy. But I think it was kind of like a form of like, okay, like if it was like clinical psychology or something, he's probably having a manic episode of some sort. But I didn't judge that because I just thought, oh well, that's neat. Because if you listen to the content of what he was saying, it was actually very profound. But because it was such an erratic behavior, I think most people would have ignored it. So, and then he was like, very into the pub scene, very into the, as people are. But and then he had like this whole entire period of where he just like was obsessed with chocolate, and he was trying to perfect his chocolate recipe, which like he just constantly made chocolate. It just like, and that like I love the fact that like he had his own hobbies and he did his own shit, like I like those kind of people. But yeah. And then somebody on Facebook told me that he died, which made me so sad. I don't know if it was a joke. I don't know if it's true, but it's yeah. It made me sad. And I told my mom, but like my mom and me were dealing with like stupid people at the time, so like we had our own dramas happening. So like again, it was like an extra bit of information that just kind of like an extra info dump. But like I don't want to say it like that because he was my friend, so I'm not like it's not a burden, but yeah. Yeah. I would say he really influenced me to seek out more like he got me really into Alan Watts. I think there was other people too that he I remember he was really into what's her name? The one with the vortex, Abraham Hicks. He was really into Abraham Hicks at the time, and then like he showed her to me and I was like, I'm not really into it. So I was like, but like we were okay with Alan Watts. Like Alan, like that's where we kind of vibed together. But he was really into like Renee Brown and Abraham Hicks and stuff like that, and it took me some time to get into Abraham Hicks. Like I had to ease up into her. So and then there was like other people like because like he would just listen to a lot of different people. So And then we talked about like the cognitive, like the Myers-Briggs thing. I think that was the thing, is like he went off into like more of the like speech people, and then I went off into a forum for cognitive functions, and I kind of followed more like Jungian theories and stuff like that. So that's kind of where we split up, I guess. But not really. It was just like we had different fields of study, I guess. But yeah. And like my whole thing was I wanted to use the Myers-Briggs personality indicator to really try to understand how the different types interact, like, because I wanted to create characters for my stories that rang true, but like I overcomplicated it, because it's like I basically like like basically I dissected personality to such a severe point that where I wouldn't say that it came off like I didn't do what I wanted, because it's the same problem as like I explained to some people that I used to be in like a Skype group with a bunch of language learners, right? And then there was this one guy who wanted to dissect everything about the language in order, I don't know, maybe he's just interested in doing that, but we were all like, it's going to be harder for you to use the language if you do that. And but he kept on doing it. So I think he didn't really care about using the language. I think he just wanted to understand the function of it. But yeah, I see that's the issue there, is like when you start dissecting things, then it becomes less useful. Like if you take apart a computer, yeah, you understand how it works, but now you can't access the computer. Like, you know, like the usage of it is not useful anymore. You've learned something, but now you got to put it all back together again. But yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just like pretty much all of these videos, everything that I upload is just a way for me to distress. Like just to like, you know, just get back to center, hear my voice for a second, you know, and also because like I have so many books from like the past, like I've written so much about like how I've thought, but I mean like it would have been so interesting if I had like videos from when I was younger, like just to hear how I thought and how I was and everything like that. Yeah, because I have a concept in my head of how I was, but it would be so interesting to see like a little like what did 12-year-old me think, and how did she sound, and what it, like I already know what she did, but like, you know, just all that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, take care, be good, bye bye.